So, let's see. Good. We picked up this bad boy for a cool €45. That is really fun. So, I'm kind of batting zero. Such a rookie mistake. Progress. Hello, you. After a rookie. Just measuring thing. Okay, so we'd saved the cardboard box from when we purchased the sofa so that we could use it as a sort of reference point for when we were looking for table sizes. So I'm gonna cut out the size that we're looking at just now. We found one for €50 on Wallapop, so I'm gonna see what it looks like in the space. So 160 is the one we're looking at just now. It's also the cheaper one and the seller was most responsive. So other thing I want to be mindful of is I think the seats we got are quite high. So I want to have enough space between the top of our legs and the table. I'm a bit of a fidgeter. So if I'm constantly bumping up against the bottom of the chair, the table, I think that would drive me pretty crazy. Again, temporary solution for €50. It's a table that we could use then outside, and because it's already had a life before us, if it gets beaten up in the sun or from water, not the end of the world. We can treat it with wax and stuff to try to extend its life, but for $50 can't beat it. So let's see. Okay, so I have done the final score. So this will allow me to have basically a few variations of table measurements to try to put in the space or in situ and see what fits best. And then without having to like add little individual pieces. So the concept, and we'll see if this works, there we go, is basically just to be able to either fold it this way to test the 160 length versus the 180 length. And then alternatively, let me see if I can do this one-handed, to test the full 100 centimeter length or the 80 centimeter length. So then we can try both those two table sizes. Oh, I am wearing a shirt in the dining room space and see kind of what allows for free movement around the table when you think about the fact that there's going to be seats or people seated. So for example, how long do we want the table? How close do we want it to come to that current island anyway? So that if, for example, I was sat against the wall and someone was sat here, I could walk around them comfortably without having to like super squeeze. We'll get something that's a good deal that maybe we can kind of rehab. And then in the future, what we're hoping to do is get an artisan, a local artisan, to actually create a custom table for us, or what I think would be a mesa de medida, basically to measurement. So the challenge here is we have nowhere to kind of organize all of our little bits and bobs. We have no shelving, very little like storage outside of the kind of built-ins in our bedroom. So this stuff has been sitting here and driving us a little crazy. But anyway, yeah, so let's see what it looks like. Okay, it's really hard to tell on screen, but this is the 160 by 80. Okay, good. What is the height of this? Okay, I'm thinking like basically an elbow's worth. I kind of think it looks a little small. It's about 9 o'clock on Sunday. We picked up this bad boy for a cool €45. Not too bad. I swear I had clothes on very briefly. I intended to keep them on for chatting with you, but anyway. Yes, so I have done some video clips of the before of the dining table and the dining space. That which means I get to take Sandra to this bad boy just now. Woo! So, topping up with some coffee. It is still incredibly hot here. It's 30 in the house. I'll put up what that is in Fahrenheit, but anyway. Yeah, I wish I knew like a cool protective goggles brand. Like, why don't they have cat eyes for goggles so that you could protect your eyeballs while you work? Anyway, I'm gonna chug this, get started. So I actually almost threw away the shower curtains from upstairs and then realized that this would actually be a really good option for protecting the terrace ground or floor while we sand, so hopefully it'll make a little less of a mess. I mean, these were inherited and probably have like all kinds of like people's germs on them, so I'm not really intending to donate them or to reuse them. So instead we'll try to just give them a little extra life by protecting the floor and kind of catching all the extra mess. Hopefully it'll make cleaning up a bit simpler. But yeah, I have a new toy. We got a rotary sander. I don't know if that's the correct term, but so excited to get started and play with a new power tool and see how quickly sanding can go, because in the van and when I say we, it was me, did it all by hand. So this should save way more time, and yeah. Here is the new toy. There is a lot of dark wood in this house, and we knew we would be getting a lot of secondhand furniture that we'd want to revitalize, so honestly it made a lot of sense for us to go ahead and just purchase an electric sander so that we yeah, saved some time, saved some strength. So power tool, human fuel. That is really fun. Who said power tools are for boys? Power Tools and I are in a war of who's gonna overheat first. Oh yeah, it's not gonna be me. Totally white hair, covered in dust. Honestly, no worse than a normal day. So I've not completely finished this other side today, but the wind has picked up and I'm inhaling an incredible amount of this dust. Like I took these off just as I paused, and there's an exceptional amount of dust inside the glasses as well. And also I just have, concerns for if so much of this is getting kicked up, how much of it is ending up on neighbors' balconies and things, and just out of respect and health. I think I'll call it for the day. So it's definitely not as clear as the other side, the day one, but definitely getting there. Let's see if you can see. So, I mean, it's kind of nice. Like if it wasn't so red, I would consider keeping it to add, like for underneath when we glaze or wax in the end, to add some character, because we're gonna have to add back character on this side. But again, it's just very red, very kind of cherry stain, and it's really clashy with the rest of the house. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it for the night. Clean up. The inside of the house is a disaster. It's definitely getting worse before it's getting better. So I'm gonna try to clean up so that we can have some space to cook some dinner, and then yeah, I've got lots of computer work to do this evening because deliveries and things had interrupted during the day. So calling it a night. So the whole upper part is complete. Oh. So it actually looks a lot better with just one leaf. The other leaf is like, just makes it really kind of bumpy jumpy. So anyway, my hands are buzzing, but look how pretty. It's a shame that I don't like the painted bottoms, because that would make it so much easier. But alas, those will be next. Oh, I made a rookie mistake. Let's see if you can see it. So I had the other leaf, which is sanded on the other side. That's actually the underside. But I was showing Chris the other night, like, oh look, like the whole top is done. And I'd set the other leaf on top. And left it there for a day. I think it's just been a day. And it's freaking sun bleached. So you can see a whole kind of rectangle of the other leaf right on the freaking table. So now I'm not really sure. I'm so sore from having done this. And I'm just, gonna try to get these legs done today so we can be done and clean up the house. And we intend on having some guests this week, so this would be nice to have done. And now I might have to do the whole freaking top again. What a bummer. Such a rookie mistake. It is another sanding in my swimsuit kind of day. So we won't do any b-roll, but I wanted to show you this crazy cool concoction. Basically, I don't want to put too much pressure on the legs at risk of snapping them. But you obviously need to push down to be able to eat up kind of the previous varnish. So I've cleverly, if I do say so myself, put our little step stool here that has kind of like a cutout, so it accommodates for the bottom leg. And then our poor new lampshade. Hopefully I'm taking the risk and not like plasticking it up. But anyway, if I tilt it on its side, it's like the perfect height so that I can put a little bit of pressure on the legs to eat up some of that varnish. Hello. Without risking like putting too much on that screw that's in there and cracking it. So, but yeah, I'm hoping to get this done today. I mean, this is going so much faster than the top did. So I don't know if it was finished differently or if I'm just getting better at this or what. But anyway, I did get a recommendation from, I think it's the New Red on Instagram. So shout out, thank you so much for the help. She told me, I had told her how long it was taking me to do the top, and she told me I was basically crazy. So she recommended the right grain, I don't know. So yeah, I did do my research, or at least a brief search online first to see which one I should be doing, and apparently it was not the correct one. So I appreciate the recommendation. Thank you. All right, hoping to show you the finished version of this soon. Good morning. We are just awake, so this is our sleepyhead face. But table's in. I had stained one of the leaves just to check out the color last night, and not really loving it. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, so here's the kind of rolle. You can see how this comes up real yellow or green compared to the floor in the background. So, not loving it. It looked really nice up against the couch, because obviously the couch has a green undertone. But, see how much more orange it looks there? Compared to right up against the orange floor. So yeah. Gotta find a solution. I don't know, I'm gonna look at walnut, chestnut, and see if either we can just go with one of those, or if maybe we mix the stains. Maybe like a dab of like the claro, or incolor, I think is what they call it, clear. And maybe a little bit of a warmer undertone. So we'll see what magic we gotta make to find the right color, but that's our two jobs this morning. Okay, so I think I had mentioned this in a previous little clip, but I had left the table out with one of the leaves sitting on top of it. So the table got a sunburn. Who knew that was a thing? And because there was multiple leaves, and this one in particular had the other one set on top of it. So it got kind of like effectively a tan line. So I've sanded it back a bit, and now it's quite a bit lighter than the other two parts of the table. So I'm gonna leave it in the sun for a bit to try to get matching color before I sand it. And then this morning we've gone and picked up some other colors. This time I picked up like a, what is it? It's not a walnut, let's see. Yeah, no, this is a walnut. So, nogal. So I'm thinking we might be able to either use this alone or mix it with the rolle we have, so that it's a little warmer, but not super duper warm. So here's to hoping. So I'm kind of batting zero with the stain. don't know if you can see. So basically I've just added that new like nogal, which I think is walnut. It's so red. It basically looks like the matte version of what I've just spent a week trying to sand off. So we're going with plan C. I think I just put my clothes back on. As you can see, the glisten is back. We are at 30.5 just now, and it's like not even noon. Actually, it's just about noon. Anyway, forget the weather report. I am going to head over to the local ferreteria, or like the little hardware store, and try to get, honestly at this point, I'll just get probably a small version of the pino or pine stain, and then also the incolor, which is like the clear. And I'm gonna try to, and probably a couple little vats, and I'm gonna make my own because I'm not liking any of these options. I'm looking for a nuance that I can't find with pre-prescribed stuff, so gonna have to do the hard way. But anyway, like if I've spent this long doing this table, I want to do it right, like, so. All right, I'm off. To show you a bit about how I'm applying this. So because I'm mixing these by hand and not using specific measurements, there's going to be some difference in the coloration, which is awesome in the sense that it will feel more natural. I'm doing this table to make it feel more aged. So part of that is also by in the creases, when you think about over time, whether dust or kind of, to be gross, but grime will collect, or as things are repainted or revarnished over time, you'd get kind of darker patches in the corners and the nooks and crannies that are harder to get. So for all of the areas, that's where I'm actually starting. I'll go back with the second layer and just add little touch-ups in the corners or kind of splotches to help kind of contribute to it feeling more cohesive, because the different layers will be slightly different colors. So that's your happy face? It totally does play nice with the current pieces of wood. I basically focused on painting the top all in one go, and then the outsides of the front legs, and then I did the insides of the back legs that you'd see from the couch, and then I started backfilling what I could until I ran out. That was the roble that looks so yellow and streaky, and this is my mix. Just took 3 pieces, 3 colors: incolor, roble, and nogal. All right, friends, ready for the reveal? There you go. Stay tuned for next time when we do our kitchen makeover. See you there!